Good morning, this is Bulbul Thaplial and this is the world this morning from our New Delhi studios. Here are the top headlines for the day. Russia launches fresh drone attacks on Kyiv as war enters fifth month. North Korea's ICBM launch shows defiance to US, raises tensions in the region. G7 to step up support for Ukraine with long-term security measures. Finnish Prime Minister calls for zero tolerance of racism after Finn's party leader apology. Thai court to decide PETA's fate in graft case, former Prime Minister's future hangs in balance. China-UK ties strained as London refuses to back down over embassy dispute. Bank of America fined $150 million for deceptive practices impacting millions of customers. Canada probes Nike and Dynasty Gold over allegations of using forced Uyghur labor in China. Google's AI-powered chatbot for Gen Z users shelved after internal testing. Now, news in detail. Russia launched fresh drone strikes on Kyiv on Wednesday as the war in Ukraine entered its fifth month. The attacks targeted a residential area in the capital, killing one person and wounding several others. The strikes came as Russia intensifies its attack on Ukraine with the aim of forcing the country to surrender. North Korea fired a suspected intercontinental ballistic missile (ICBM) on Wednesday morning, Japanese officials reported. The long-range missile is expected to land short of Japanese waters. Pyongyang's launch comes after it threatened retaliation against alleged US spy plane incursions. Washington has dismissed the accusations, saying its military actions were in line with the international law. The G7 leaders are set to announce long-term security measures for Ukraine, including providing more military aid and training. The measures are intended to help Ukraine defend itself against Russia's ongoing invasion. The G7 leaders are also expected to impose new sanctions on Russia. Riikka Purra, the leader of the far-right Finns party in Finland, has apologized for racist posts she made on social media in 2008. Purra, who is running for Prime Minister in the upcoming elections, said she was deeply sorry for the post, which included comments about immigrants and people of color. The apology comes after the posts were resurfaced by the media. A Thai court is set to rule on a case seeking the disqualification of former Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha from office over a corruption scandal. The case was filed by a group of activists who allege that PETA, as Prime Minister, abused his power by interfering in a political investigation into the scandal. The court is expected to issue its ruling on Wednesday. A dispute over the size of China's new embassy in London has strained ties between the two countries. The UK government has refused to back down from its demand that China reduce the size of the embassy, which it says is too big. China has said that it will not compromise on the size of the embassy. The dispute is seen as a sign of the growing tensions between China and the West. Bank of America has been fined $150 million by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, for creating fake accounts and charging bogus fees. The bank also agreed to pay $80.4 million to customers who were affected by the practices. The CFPB said that the Bank of America has created millions of fake accounts in order to meet sales goals. The bank also charged customers bogus fees for things like overdraft protection and ATM usage. Canada's corporate ethics watchdog has launched separate investigations into Nike Canada and Dynasty Gold over allegations that they used or benefited from forced Uyghur labor in their supply chains and operations in China. The allegations were made in a report by a coalition of 28 civil society organizations, which said that both companies had supply chains or operations in Xinjiang, a region where the Chinese government has been accused of interning Uyghur Muslims in mass detention camps. Google's plans to launch an AI-powered chatbot for Gen Z users has been shelved for internal testing. The chatbot, called Bubble Characters, was reportedly designed to help Gen Z users with tasks such as finding information, making plans, and managing their social media accounts. However, the project was reportedly met with mixed reviews from internal testers who found that the chatbot was not as engaging or helpful as they had hoped. These were the top news headlines for today. Stay tuned to Democracy News Live for more news updates.